for the day full of refrigerator sex between you and Kimberly Johnson, who will be joining us in just a little bit.
Did someone tell you I was selling my podcast equipment for cocaine or something like that? Now you're all ganging up. Kimberly's here. Everyone's here, except Travis. I'm so sorry to hear about Travis.
Yeah.
That's
yes.
so sad.
Travis Geist.
Yeah. Travis Geist is
Travis.
home in the bubble boy.
Yeah.
Bubble. Yes. All right. Bob Cesca, you are a
Nerd!
As
That
we all
is
know.
correct.
But this is where your nerddom crosses politics. You tweeted a new Star Wars thing is out. It's great, but there's a black woman and a little girl in it, which means the toxic dark side of Star Wars fandom is going full racist/misogynist. And you said, to be clear, the racist incel fanboy reaction to Moses Ingram is more than just because she's black. It's because she's a black woman.
Yep.
Can I just say what the direct line is to politics for me is Kamala Harris. Like, we sort of knew it, that I'm like, oh, she's going to take all the racism that Obama got and all the sexism that Hillary got, and there you go, right? When you look at her approval ratings or whatever, and I think she's done a fantastic job. But I was saying, that's sort of the depressing thing, and you see that even just from this, even though it's only a fictional thing, that you just feel like there's something in your mind going, you knew that the first black president was going to have to be a man, and you think the first woman's probably going to have to be white. It's just depressing. Where we are. And
it's all over the place.
This is a perfect example. It's like N-word all over the place. She talked about it, right? That she said, she said she shared her story on Instagram that she's received hundreds of racist messages since her Star Wars debut on May 27th. That was how long ago? She said, included the use of the N-word and on, right?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, Star Wars is trying to lightning rod some of the racists away from Kamala Harris, I guess, because the other thing here with this new series, Obi-Wan Kenobi, is every episode is directed by Debbie Chow, an Asian American woman. And so you combine all of those things, a black woman lead villain, a 10-year-old girl playing young Princess Leia, who, by the way, the actor playing young Princess Leia also happens to be 10 years old. So like, I guess you get past 30 years old and you live in your basement and you're an incel long enough, you forget what little kids look like.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's like so many gripes. But I mean, it centers on the racism always, because every time there's, some sort of inclusiveness in this universe, all the racists freak out. And I think it's partly because they're racist, but also partly because they've got quotas to fill as trolls and bots. I think a lot of what we're seeing right now are the usual things that we see in politics as well. A lot of people with 2 followers jumping into comment threads, stirring the pot and making things far, far worse.
Yeah, I love what Star Wars, the franchise, said. There are more than 20 million sentient species in the Star Wars galaxies. Don't choose to be racist. We are proud to welcome Moses Ingram to the Star Wars family, excited for Reva's story to unfold. If anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, we have only one thing to say: we resist. Between that and the Buffalo Massacre, my hometown, it just... I don't know, Bob.
Yeah.
Like you say, I guess what a lot of people say, the same things we've said, is Donald Trump didn't invent racism, but he seemed to really open the door to thinking you can say it out loud. Remember everybody saying, "Oh, he just says what I'm thinking." It's like, really? Wow.
Yeah. Well, and you see a lot of this from the racists, whether it's in the political realm or whether it's in, with the racist fanboys in the Star Wars universe and so on, is because they feel entitled to free speech. They feel as though, well, if I've got free speech, I should say these things. I should just indulge the worst, darkest, most toxic places in my gut and throw those out onto the internet, onto social media as much as I want. Just because you have free speech doesn't mean you need to blurt every last thing and make a capital case out of the casting of one character or another in a Star Wars TV series or something like that. You're mistaking the right to free speech with an obligation to free speech, and you don't have an obligation to pollute the world with this. But I think what Donald Trump did, and what we observed for so many years, is that he made it okay to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He encouraged it by example.
And I was saying, Bob, it was a little depressing being in a red county in North Carolina to visit my mom this weekend and seeing the guy with the Trump hat on and the house with the giant Trump sign and the Tea Party flag, and it just, as you said, someone named Tim, right winger, said defund the police, and this is what you get: incompetent officers. About Uvalde, and you just said the 17,000 easily led idiots who like this tweet are worse than the idiot who tweeted it. I mean, they can take any argument, right? And they don't. And if you tell them all the police organizations are against all these gun laws, they don't care. Then F the police, right?
Yeah. The reaction to this situation is worse than just about anything we've seen as far as mass shootings go and the aftermath. Laura Ingraham last night, for example, was blaming marijuana for the mass shootings.
Yes. Marijuana psychosis.
Potheads.
Psychosis.
It's that Mary Jane.
Full reefer madness on her show last night. It's because of all the drug heads. You drug heads, you're causing me. I don't know if she said drug heads, but that just seems like a adequately square thing to say.
Yeah.
It's reefer madness. Okay.
You people smoking the pot. Oh my God, you're causing the mass shootings, you drug heads, you druggies.
Oh my God.
Drug heads. I'm going to use that
You want to eat potato chips.
All of them. All of them. You retweeted Mo Brooks blames decline of moral values for mass shootings. And you said, oh, please, no one tell them about Duger, Roy Moore, Herbster, Greetens, Walker, Kavanaugh, Hastert, Cawthorn, right? On and on. Trump. I mean, really? Oh, you're the party of moral values now.
Right.
Matt Gaetz.
They're just going, They're thumbing through the Rolodex at this point. Let's see marijuana. Oh, let's see moral values. Oh, let's see mental health. We're not going to do anything about any of these things, but we're just saying that we're naming nuts, like in Best in Show.
Yeah,
we're just naming things and blaming that on. Yeah, to distract from the fact that it's actually the guns, right?
Yes, he reacted to John Jr. Jr. went on a wild rant about Uvalde tonight. He says gun owners are unfairly stigmatized, and the real problem is crazy teachers are indoctrinating kids. And you just said narrow-shouldered trust fund sociopath offers up suggestions for future mass murderers. I mean, really? The teachers that acted as human shields and are dead now? You're blaming the teachers for what just happened.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it turned out, we learned yesterday, that the teacher didn't prop the door open. Right. It wasn't the teacher's fault.
Right.
But of course, the lie circulates around the world, and people consider that to be the only thing they hear, and that metastasizes in the conversation, and then it's done. No amount of truth is going to reverse that. It's not going to reverse 3-4 days of misinformation and lies, and that's what we're dealing with now. Yeah.
And Bob, you said the perfect thing on Twitter about this whole, all the teacher bashing they've done about books, about critical race theory, about gay people existing, and Scott tweeted when tobacco companies marketed to children, we shut that down fast. And you said the following commercial is 100% real. I give you cricket rifle, aka my first rifle. This is a real thing.
Yeah.
This isn't grooming. This isn't grooming kids to be mass shooters.
Yeah. I saw that commercial. It must have been 5 years ago when they started marketing this cricket rifle, and I'm pretty sure they still market the thing. And there are lots of other copycats, I'm sure, for kids and people of short stature. It's a miniature rifle, right? And it comes in fun colors. And in the commercial, it's so ridiculous. In the commercial, they're just holding these rifles and they're pointing at the heads of the children, and the children are pointing their guns at the heads of the mom.
God.
It's just, I mean, not intentionally, but it's unintentionally hilarious and awful all at the same time. To know that the gun industry, it's like cigarette companies marketing cigarettes directly to children using the cartoony Joe Camel character. And it just segues me back to my solution. I think one of my proposed solutions for this is to tackle this problem culturally and go at guns the way we went at cigarette smoking and big tobacco for the last 20-25 years. It was effective. There's a template all laid out. All it requires is some money and tenacity to make it happen. And this is a decades-long effort, because I feel like you can't tackle guns if the gun culture still exists. You're still going to, you want to go after the supply and the demand for firearms. And the demand comes out of this American culture that's been festering for a couple of centuries plus now. that says, oh, guns are heirlooms, oh, responsible gun owners, that trope, and all the things that go along with firearms in the United States that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in other Western countries, certainly other developed countries. So this is where we go at the problem. You go at the culture while you're also trying to figure out a legislative solution, which I hate to break it to everybody, but I feel like Congress is a dead end now. We're not going to get anything out of Congress, at least for the time being.
Well, you retweeted Patty, who said, not Congress, the 50 Republicans in the Senate. The House of Representatives passes sensible gun measures, and the Senate won't even bring them up for debate. And you said, I love that the House Democrats have passed gun control measures, and we ought to acknowledge and reward them in November. But yes, Congress is useless with this Senate, and voters don't seem interested in resolving the current stalemate anytime soon. We shall see. I have a guess the quote for you, Bob, which is aimed directly at the heart of Chris Lavoie.
Okay. Oh, dear.
Who said, please save your negative assumptions. If you don't think it's possible, fine. Be a negative bummer on your own page, not mine. I'll delete defeatist attitudes. I've heard enough of them. Who said that?
That would be Deputy Dog.
No, that would be your girlfriend, Kimberly Johnson, who will join us.
Oh, see, okay, a house divided shall not stand. All right, these are
who will join us.
I do like Deputy Dog, though.
Boys are dumb. Let's wait till Kimberly Johnson gets here. But that's what I'm saying. That's what they hope, is that we'll have a defeatist attitude, and
yeah.
You know, the thing is, you and Kimberly are both right, and you're both pretty. We just have to turn out in big enough numbers to change this equation in the Senate. Period. Yeah. That's it. So, but I mean, but our enemy is also defeatist attitudes and going, nothing's ever going to change. You know, you have to join David Hogg in D.C. June 11th, and you have to. And as we always say, you got to march and vote. Make sure you register all those people marching, because that's yeah.
Oh yeah. And generally speaking, I do agree with you. I just don't think between.
Well, you better agree with your girlfriend, or that's going to be a big empty refrigerator.
That's right. Got to make sure I agree with Deputy Dog.
Yes.
Yeah. So between now and January, when the new Congress is sworn in, I feel like nothing is going to happen with a 50-50 Senate.
That's what I'll tell you. Where
10 Republicans on board with it. 10 Republicans are not going to get on board with anything meaningful between now and then.
I agree, Bob. I agree with you. That's where my cynicism is with Republicans, particularly in the Senate, is they will do this cosplay. They will make it look like they care and they're going to do something, and because of the midterms, and then they won't, and then they won't. Yeah. I mean, that's my cynicism. Is yes, they'll make it look like they'll do the dance. John Cornyn and everybody else will do the dance, like, oh, we really care, and we're all trying to work on this, and Democrats just didn't come together with us to do something that could pass, and it's really not our fault. It's real. You know what I'm saying? They'll do this dance. Yeah. And we cannot.
It happened.
Go ahead.
It happened in 2013. It happened 9 years ago with the Manchin-Toomey legislation, the Manchin-Toomey amendment, where all they want to do was close some background check loopholes. And it was a Democrat Joe Manchin, Republican Pat Toomey, and the Republicans filibustered the amendment. It failed to pass. And that was in the wake of Sandy Hook. Yeah. The nightmare that was. It wasn't enough to at least get some sort of modest thing passed. It dropped dead, 3 months after Sandy Hook. It was awful.
Yeah. Are you watching?
And so I feel like it's going to happen again.
Are you watching First Lady, which I'm loving and watching?
Yes.
But of course,
we just started it. Yeah.
But this past one was covered the Obama section covered Sandy Hook, and you just took you right back there again, and here we are.
Yeah. For me, it was harder than 9/11 to go through that, to see Sandy Hook go down. It was so emotionally just so dreadful and tragic and shocking, I think, more than anything else. And then it was compounded by the shocking reaction from people like Alex Jones, who turned it into a show, a gimmick for their financial fortunes. And that was maybe one of the worst aspects of it.
Yeah. The saving grace of First Lady is finding out how much Betty Ford hated Donald Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney. Okay. It's fantastic. Michelle Pfeiffer is fantastic as Betty Ford. Okay.
She's really good.
You retweeted John Fugelsang, who said the seething, petulant outrage of patriots who think buying an AR-15 for entertainment matters more than American lives. And you just said for a majority of AR-15 owners, it's a fashion accessory.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like buying a flag for the yard or something like that. It's like we're waving our flag for what we believe in, the hobby that we love, and the where that gets bastardized is it's okay to have hobbies, but to expect there to be a constitutional amendment that protects your hobby Give me a break. If you're stockpiling weapons because you love the way they look and they make you feel masculine and they look cool and have your picture taken for Instagram with all of them arranged in a special design on the floor of your apartment, you're doing it wrong.
And
It's absurd.
If any, video or whatever encapsulates where we are in America, it's Donald Trump reading the names of the victims at an NRA convention and then dancing that stupid double handy J dance that he dances.
Yeah.
You just said, Trump loves every second of this. He possesses a transparent fascination with grisly death and gets off on stirring up chaos. The more incendiary, the better. It's what he does. It's why so many heads love and worship him. It is.
Yeah.
It's like they know he's a head.
Drug heads? Is that what you're saying?
D-head.
Oh, not drug heads.
No.
Okay.
Different D word.
And what was worse about it is he couldn't pronounce any of the names, even though I'm sure they were spelled phonetically on his teleprompter. It was like Sonia, and then it was Bong, and then it was Jimmy Stein, Bong. And it was, oh my God!
He's such a monstrosity.
And then the
double handy J.
Max, the optimum tip-to-tip efficiency. You know that dance?
Yep.
Oh my God!
All right. Yeah, you know what? You're just foreplay for Kimberly Johnson. Get out now. Get back in your refrigerator. We love you.
All right, love you. Have a good trip.
Bob Cesca Show, Essential. Oh, thank you.